Stephen Fry is a well-respected voice in the atheist community, if that is even a thing. Back in May 2021, Fry met with Canadian Professor of Psychology Jordan Peterson to discuss a multitude of topics, but most interesting to me, or us, or just me, I don't know, is atheism, religion and empiricism. Hello, I'm the Skeptic. I watch videos on YouTube that make extraordinary claims, whether that's flat earth or strange conspiracies, but mostly the claim that a god is real, and then explain why I can't accept their position. Before we get into today's video, please do subscribe, hit that bell notification to be alerted for my next video, and drop a like. That would be amazing. In this God Squad video, Jordan Peterson interviews Stephen Fry. Well, with over 4 million subscribers, I'm not surprised he could get a one-on-one with Fry. The main video is almost an hour and 40 minutes long and has some amazing topics, but let's see what was said on the topics relevant to this channel.
You were involved with Hitchens and Dawkins and the horsemen of the of the atheist movement. Yeah, and I really want to talk to you about that too, because I especially am interested in your opinions, because of all those people, you're the one that has the most connection with drama and literature and fiction. And you just published a couple of books, Mythos, Heroes. Yeah. And there's a third one in that trilogy. It just escapes my mind. Troy. Yeah. And so you're obviously extraordinarily sensitive to the power and necessity of literary accounts. But then you're also a humanistic atheist.
I haven't read the stories that are being referenced here, but my initial thought is you don't have to believe stories to be true and to find them enjoyable. Writing about mythology doesn't mean you believe the gods in the stories to be real. Why can't someone with a lack of belief in deity still find it fascinating that people once believed in these things?
I'm very curious about that. I mean, someone like Dawkins, he's so rational that I think for him, and I don't know if this is fair, and it might be a bit of a stereotype, but it'll do for rhetorical purposes. He's not gripped by drama in the same way you are. And there's a truth in drama that's not trivial, and that truth is allied with religious truth.
As someone who's a performer, the only truth I can think of is admitting you're pretending. When I'm a character, I know at the end of the day that I was pretending to be someone I'm not. That character is no more real than the idea of it being real. At the same time, people watching you being a character should also understand that it's not real. And maybe that is a good truth.
I can't speak for Richard. It's just been his 80th birthday, so we wish him happy birthday. And he's not the shrill beast of atheism that some people regard him as. But I won't speak for him, obviously. But what I would say is that, yes, you're right, he's a rationalist. And I don't think I am. I think I'm an empiricist. And I think that's part of my love of drama and myth and story and literature and history even is these are all to do with experience, with human experience, the register of human experience.
And that's what I also find fascinating. Using experience to flesh out a character, whether that's in a book you're writing or a character you're portraying. But experiences can be different for everyone and are in no way a reliable way of demonstrating any truth. Because I could have a very different experience to you and reach a very different conclusion.
Okay, so as humanity advances, and we'll say advancement is the aggregation of larger societies, our more sophisticated view of the world, more technological power, that sort of thing, more ability to predict and control.
And indeed a longer lifetime. And health.
Yes, and the things that come along with that, and more peace by the looks of things, and more food, and
all the Steven Pinker things.
Right, exactly that. So the gods aggregate and unify. That happens across as cultures collide and integrate. The gods integrate and unify. It's the battle between the gods in heaven. That's the parallel development to the battle between tribes for dominance on earth. But it's an integrative process as well as a submission process.
Yeah.
Okay, so those are within.
Yes.
Now you have an integrated God within.
Yes.
That's what tortures you with your conscience.
Yes, that's your Jiminy Cricket. It's your, what philosophers call your deontic or deontological voice.
So then you ask yourself,
Yeah.
Then you ask yourself, and this is a dead serious question. So imagine that people are exploring the moral domain whose reality is blatantly obvious, but difficult to formalize, let's say. We're exploring the nature of the moral realm tentatively, and we develop more powerful and more integrated theories as we progress. And you end up with a unified God, so it's a monotheism.
I'm sure that a God within concept is purely that.
There's a God within. Then the question is, well, what exactly is that God within? Does it correspond to something that's real? Or is it just a figure of the imagination? But then you say, well, if it's just a figure of the imagination, what exactly is the imagination?
A really creative and fun part of your brain. Imagine being able to imagine anything. It doesn't make it real, but geez, it's fun. I imagine some very interesting things that gets me in a lot of trouble with my fiancé, but being able to distinguish between imagination and reality is massively important.
I think partly Christianity insists that this integrated God figure also had a real existence. That's how Christianity tries to solve this particular problem.
Yes.
And people like C.S. Lewis and Jung to some degree as well would say, well, once in history, someone acted out that unified God so completely that something happened. That's the proposition. Okay, well, that's the limit of the proposition.
Yeah.
And then the question is, well, how real is this moral striving? It's real enough so you torture yourself when you don't engage in it properly.
But this goes back to being a dramatic character. A performer knows that they're reenacting something based on experience. I guess in this instance, observers may not be aware that they're watching a reenactment of experience. But guessing doesn't get us to the truth either. This video was more an exercise in exploring different content. The original video is a fascinating watch, and it's really interesting to see someone who is quote-unquote a theist, as I know with Peterson it's questionable where his actual position is, respectfully questioning and gaining an understanding. And likewise with Fry, not shoving ideas down the throat of someone with differing opinions. If we can take anything away from this interaction, it's that we can remain respectful when talking to someone with a different outlook than ourselves. I'm giving that a skeptic. Don't forget to hit the like button and subscribe if you haven't already. From me, the Skeptic, stay safe, keep thinking logically and ask questions. Skepticism is the first step towards truth. See you next Saturday.